Hello, my name is Eric Roeder, and I work in business development for Teleion. My team of elite nerds is dedicated to helping turn big ideas into first customers. Building apps and helping develop new businesses allows me to meet amazing people. These people are doing amazing things in our tech community and my actual community of Fargo, North Dakota. I wanted to start a platform to help business leaders and other great people in our community tell their story. Connecting with amazing people is my job. Welcome to my office. We're changing the entire internet one positive post at a time, and my guest this week is Glen Stevens of Teleion. He's a former pastor and a spiritual entrepreneur. He started a coaching business wanting to focus on helping ambitious leaders, but he also wants to help those leaders be spiritually engaged with their work as well. I've enjoyed every conversation that I've ever had with Glen, and we're going to talk about authenticity and leadership this week. Welcome, Internet. I'm really excited to be here on this delightfully negative 20 day. I'm the only person in the office until my guest.
Here I am.
Glen Stevens of Teleion came in, and we're gonna film, and I'm just excited because we've had a really good interaction. And like the first time, and so I'm excited to tell your story.
Thank you.
But we'll let you do it. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah. So I'm a spiritual entrepreneur, former pastor turned spiritual entrepreneur, and I started my entrepreneurial journey about a year, just a little bit over a year ago. So what that means is I've started a business, a coaching business, and there's just lots of people out there who they struggle to be productive. They struggle to get things done.
I don't know anything
they struggle,
about that.
I know, not you, not you,
okay.
but other people. And so a coach can really help with that. And so I like to coach ambitious leaders who want to get things done and want to go farther, faster. And so I do that. And I'm also trying to be spiritually engaged as well. And I think having been a former pastor, what I'm finding now is there's definitely a group of people who like the fact that they could have a coach who's got not just some leadership understanding and that kind of and coaching skill set, but then also has this spiritual, pastoral background to them as well that they find they want to integrate their lives. They want to be the same person at work as they are at home, as they are in other settings, and that's really hard.
It's so hard.
Yeah, especially, business can be that way. And so they want a coach who can help them be authentic all the time.
And I think that when you say authentic, that's part of like my marketing's like be yourself. And be a good person, and it'll just usually work out. But it's really kind of tricky to get there. Can we talk a little bit about like you just took this leap?
Yeah,
you took a leap of faith.
Yeah, that's true.
Getting into this, let's talk about just taking a huge career shift.
Yeah. So I was in the pastoral world. I was in Albert Lea, Minnesota for 13 years as the lead pastor there. And then most recently, I came from there to Fargo, where I was 10 years the lead pastor at Salem Church here in town. And so it wasn't like I had this plan or whatever, but and lots of people, when a pastor leaves, the assumption is something bad happened.
Sure.
Okay, either, and even the Sunday I was going to let people know, we'd sent out a communication letter ahead of time, and then I was just going to talk about it, and one guy called one of my colleagues and said, "Hey, Glenn, give me the real scoop, because what we got in the letter, it sounded too positive."
Right.
So, and it's like, there is no scoop. He wanted to know was I getting forced out?
Sure.
And I got up that morning and I said, some of you are wondering, did I get forced out? And the answer is yes, but not by any human beings. I really think God forced me out. He said, I want you to do this new thing. I want you to be a spiritual entrepreneur. I want you to reach people with love, kindness, light, a message that you won't be able to do in your current role. And there's a ton of people who need to hear what you got to say. And so for me, it wasn't so much I guess it is a step of faith, but it was a step of obedience. I'd come to this discerning understanding, like, this is God telling me to do something. More inviting me to. I don't think he was going to be mad if I didn't. Will I obey or won't I obey? And so that's, for me, it was, well, I think I'm going to obey. And I was very jazzed by the idea as well of doing this. So
when you get excitement and that keeps you up at night, like, there's something spiritual about that.
Yeah.
There is something telling me to do something, and I'm not sleeping at night because of this. And this is bigger than me right now. And that's exciting. That's a cool story.
Thank you. Yeah. Well,
I didn't know that part. And so when we had like our introductory, like I said, I just reached out to have a conversation with you, and we had our Zoom call, and I was talking about a struggle that we were kind of going through at work. Can we kind of like break down how that went and how you went through me, or like what you told me during that? Right.
Yeah. Let's do it. And you said the scene, but basically we were just going to get to know each other.
Yep.
And I just showed up. You showed up.
Yeah.
You were. When you got on, it's like, I just had this frustrating thing happen.
Be all over.
You were. Well, you were, like you said, my brain. I just came out of a tough meeting.
Yeah.
And so now, like, I got to refocus, re-energize, and then we just started talking about it, and I love that about you. You were vulnerable, and you just sort of mentioned a few little things about it, and. And then as a coach, coaching, a big skill in coaching is just asking good questions.
Yeah.
And so I started asking you some questions about it, and it kind of turned into a coaching session without us ever planning it. Yeah, it was an impromptu. So set the stage a little bit about how, as much as you want to talk about what you were going through, and then we can just sort of break it down.
Yeah, no, and so I work with all of these super introverts.
Yes.
And to a point where, like, I can't even understand where their brain is. And that was something that we dug up during, like, I don't super understand it. And we've had some customers talk about they want better communication on Zoom meetings.
That's right.
And that just opened up an entire, like, the entire universe doesn't know Zoom meetings because it's very new. And you shut the camera off, and then you, like, had no idea, and then there's so much that's portrayed through your face, and we kind of came to the conclusion from there that we should set a rule that, and it wasn't even that you have to be on video. It really just kind of turned into this question where you say, hey, everyone's comfortable levels and what they want out of a Zoom meeting is different.
Right.
You're our customer. Would you like us to have the video on or off? Or can we choose it? Like, we just want to make sure that you're being taken care of.
Yeah.
And I've said that in meetings, and we brought that up to the team, and it was a little, like, turbulent at first, but now most of our customers are super appreciative of it. And if you don't like to be on it, they're like, okay. Like, no one's like, no, I have to look at your face.
Right.
And again, then, whereas I don't even think of that as a problem. Super introverts.
Yeah,
it's
struggle.
Really anxiety. Like, it's kind of it's so much more tricky for them. And so that, again, it was interesting that you talked about being a coach, and then without trying, your coach us through a thing, and it got us to where we are, and it did, and it helped a lot. So I have a good testimonial for Glenn. He's definitely someone you should reach out to, and that helped our business. The question that we like to ask is, how can we help your business?
Oh, I really appreciate you asking that. So a couple things. One, like for me, when we talked, I was really glad to talk to you, because right now I'm brand new business, startup, right? And lots of people don't know I'm even around and that my company exists. So getting the word out. I specialize in working with faith-based business leaders. Ideal client for me is someone who's ambitious. They probably lead a team or a company, or they want to make sure they're, again, integrated as a person, that they're authentic, and they care about their faith, and they care about their work, and they want those, like, it can be so competitive in the business world, so cutthroat sometimes, so difficult, and it can be hard to bring, to feel like the person you're becoming at work is the person you want to be. And so I help people in my coaching with that. I'm a Business Made Simple certified coach. So Donald Miller has a book. I brought a copy for you, as a matter of fact. Oh, wow. But so smile, right? Business Made Simple. It just came out in January. Okay. And it is the #1 business bestseller on Amazon right now. Oh. And it's like a business operating system, actually, that looks at the whole, like if a business were an airplane, it looks at the whole airplane and all the parts of it and how it works well together. So I'm doing that. And so I've got these great business frameworks that I can coach people in. Sure. And I've got a pastor's heart and biblical wisdom of many years that I can bring to the table together.
Your biblical wisdom. We talked about this like pre-show. Like, follow him on LinkedIn at least, because he'll pull something incredibly relevant to business. Mm-hmm. And then, I don't remember what it was today, but I liked it.
Yeah. Well, so what I've been doing is, this book is got 60 daily readings. Mm-hmm. And so what I've been doing is pulling out an idea from the day's reading, from when I got the book, and I've been posting every day that idea. And then it's like, does this have, like, how does this integrate with what the Bible tends to teach, or how it goes about things? And so it's just finished up a chapter on messaging. Today's was about messaging and the stakes. So part of messaging for a business is you got to let people know what the stakes are. If they do business with you, what good things are going to happen, what benefits will they receive? And if you decide not to go with us, what bad, painful things are you going to continue to experience? That was what this post was about. And does the Bible have anything to do with that? And
then you found.
Well, it's not very hard to find the Bible talking about stakes of how people making decisions. And it's not in the Bible isn't a business book, but this concept of conveying a message and getting a message out and letting people know, if you want to grab people's attention in a noisy, busy world, Donald Miller, who wrote this book, was saying, well, then you want to let people know what the stakes are. Sure. And anyway, I can go on and on. I'll stop. But yeah, on LinkedIn, Glen Stevens Jr.
We'll put up some graphics and stuff. I know Maddie's not here today, but I trust she can do it. So.
Oh, yeah, I bet she can. And I've got a website, which is Teleion Coaching. Teleion's Teleion. Then coaching.com. Obviously, yeah.
Again, we'll put links and stuff so you don't even have to think, and
perfect.
Just click it. So one other thing.
Yep, and so one other thing. Part of what I do is I lead a workshop called Hero on a Mission. So this is my flyer. Mm-hmm. And what it is it helps people develop a life plan. And it comes out of the Business Made Simple frameworks. Sure. So it's one of the frameworks. And what they found out is people who know what they want to do with their life, know where they're going, and also have a daily planner that's synced to their vision for life. Those people are more productive. Those people are happier. Those people are more satisfied. And they have good days. Yeah. So if you'd like that, I can help you with that. I've got March 9th is the very first live Hero on a Mission workshop that Fargo will have ever seen.
Oh,
yeah.
cool.
And this workshop just dropped a couple months ago nationally.
Yep.
So it's something people could get on. And then I'm going to be offering it online as well.
Sure. I think, and this is a wild card question we didn't super talk about before, but we kind of have been.
Yeah.
I think this year has taught us work-life balance
Mm-hmm.
is so important.
Yeah.
Part of that spirituality.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been impressed with your ability to not be like just really pushy.
Mm-hmm.
Because with anything religious, because I think people's first initial thing is put their guards up.
Right.
And,
Oh,
and
yeah.
yours has been really,
Big time.
really good. Could you have any advice for other people that are kind of wanting to take that same approach that you are
Mm-hmm.
with faith-based in business? Because usually those aren't supposed to mix.
Right. Yeah. I think they do mix. What I love, so the beginning of the Bible, right at the very beginning, what we see is there's a God who creates a universe, but what he doesn't do is finish everything. And what he does do is he creates the environments and the raw materials to create a great world. And then he invites human beings to participate and be co-creators, so to speak, of that better world. And I believe business is about helping to create that world. And so for me, it's just like, if I can help a business leader, then that business leader is the kind of person who now is their success allows them to create a better world to live in, to work in, and to worship in. And I see that it just fits together. So what I would say is you need to. It's not about me and the story I want to get across. What I need to do, and what I think people should do, is care about the person they're talking to. Focus on listening to that person, hearing who are they, where do they come from, understand who they are, and then you may have come across something in your spiritual journey that relates in a very clear way to that person's point, and then go ahead, share that. But to like come on and basically not know somebody, you've not listened to them, you don't know what they're really caring about, loving, wanting, anything like that, and you start telling them what they should think and believe, like
Telling is a way to initially, or just
right. Yeah, it's like I wouldn't want somebody doing that for me either. So basically, I guess one of the things Jesus says, treat people the way you want to be treated.
Sure.
That's the golden rule, they call it.
Golden rule.
The golden rule. Like that's probably the most important advice I could give somebody. Like, live by the golden rule.
All right.
Yeah.
The rest will work itself out.
Yeah, well, it does. And be interested in people and try to understand who they are, how they think, understand where they're coming from before you try to tell them where you are and where you're coming from. It just works a lot better that way.
I like that. So, yeah, I got a nerd question for you.
Nerd question. Let's do
question. And so when the camera shut off by a ghost,
Yeah.
you gave me some of this Business Made Simple coffee.
Yeah.
You're a Bison fan.
I'm a Bison fan.
I'm going to bet you a coffee.
Nice.
Over under Trey Lance top 15 or second half of the first round.
Yeah, he'll go in the top 15.
All right. I'll bet coffee on it.
Will. All right. Yeah.
I get the bottom half. Yeah, no, I kind of think you won there too. But
yeah.
We'll see.
We'll find out.
We'll find out.
I think he will go.
I do too. But worst case scenario, I get to sit down.
That's right, and we get to meet again and have some coffee.
So that will be great.
Yes.
Thanks for taking some time out of your day on this coming out in this treacherous tundra that we choose to live in, and it was a great conversation.
Thanks.
So thank you.
I really am impressed with you and what you're doing, and like even how you're coachable. When I wasn't trying to coach you, but as we talked, and we really wait a second, I'm coaching you. You wanted to be a good leader. You wanted to lead your team well, and you were open to hearing. To thinking about it with somebody else and walk away and then do something about it. And so that's impressive to me.
Well, thank you. No, leadership is a terrifying island that you're on by yourself, and you shouldn't have to be. And so,
that's right.
Thanks, everyone, and have a good week.
Great to meet you.
right. Let's make sure that things are thinging.